Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Down on the Sidelines. Here at the wonderful Lakeland University is your boy, Matty Icy. We are going for different. I got my glasses on because I'm out of contacts. So, glasses gang going
He's got
strong.
the specs.
I do got the specs. Anyways, from Lakeland University on the home sideline, it's your boy, Matt Crowley, a.k.a. Matty Icy.
All right, I want to throw a challenge flag. I think I should be the home sideline
Oh
here
yeah,
in
yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
episode.
Actually, yeah. So on the away sideline at Lakeland University, because Brendan is actually back home for Easter. I'm gonna be going back tomorrow after work. I have work and stuff. So after that, I will be home. But yeah, Brendan will be the home sideline. I'll be on the away sideline.
Let's go, cha-ching. All right, here on the home sideline, here back at home is your boy, Brendan Retzoff, aka 99 Brett's, Brett's.golf, Brendini, and thank you all for tuning in to, is this episode 4 now?
This
Or
is
person-
season 3, episode 4, the UFL kickoff. Obviously, we have been in discussion. We both agreed that it is in our best interest to do the UFL because there's not a lot of coverage on it. I mean, I don't think
Absolutely.
everyone does a UFL. No one really does a UFL. Obviously, this is the first year the UFL has been made. The Ultimate Football League combined with the USFL and the XFL combined together to make the UFL. But yeah, so I think it was in our best interest to do that. Don't mind the NFL logo up there. I didn't have time to change it, unfortunately. But yeah, so UFL,
Oh, true.
yeah. Just imagine that N
Wait,
is a U.
just Photoshop it so you put the U right in there. Even though what does the logo for the
It's
UFL
like
look like?
it's a football, then the UFL is inside of it, like the laces are on top of it.
I honestly like that kind of better than the NFL
I
logo.
know it's dope.
Like the NFL logo, yes, it
It's
looks
iconic.
iconic with its shield type of look to it, but the way you're describing this, already the fact that it looks like a football, like that just ties it in
Right.
together. But I don't know that much knowledge about this league at all. Matt, I know you've been studying and doing a little bit on it, and in today's episode, we're going to introduce all of this to you.
Yeah.
So this is almost going to be like new for me,
So
essentially.
basically, I'm probably gonna be going over. We'll go over the teams as well. Both of the conferences. I know we had described. I know we briefly touched up on it when we agreed we would do the UFL, but teams that we support, and then the big part is the rules because there's, even though it's football, there's so many different rules that have been taking place.
There are a
So
lot of different
there's a
things.
lot of different rules. Obviously, this is just going to be a UFL episode only. We're not going to do anything with the NFL today. So we're here. We would still like you to hang around, but if you just want to listen to the NFL, you can go look back, listen to our older content, or go. Well, stay here. Stay here. We're not going to
Or
stay.
let us know in the comment section down below because I mean, getting comments from people, it's super helpful. We got a bunch of comments from our last episode. I'm not sure if they were on YouTube, but at least I got some comments from people on like Snapchat or whatever, just telling us about how the episode went and everything. And I got some things about like how they enjoyed the debates that we ended up having, and we had a really great debate
That
last
was fun. Yeah.
episode. And other things were about our audio, but we are fixing this. We're trying to do better.
Yeah.
Matt, I
The
know with your
audio.
situation,
Yeah. The
you were
audio.
back at home.
Yeah, that was basically my fault. The audio because I didn't have a mic and I was in a closed room with nothing really. It should probably sound fine over here because I have my mic with me, but my computer mic is not that very well. It picks up literally and it echoes, so it's not very good. So I have my good old blue winter bowl mic. So we're gonna get right into this right away. So everyone, welcome to the UFL. It is March 29th, 2024. The UFL season kicks off tomorrow. But there shouldn't be any other way to introduce the UFL by naming the teams. So obviously the UFL is a combination of the USFL and XFL. XFL was the Roxley, Dwayne the Rock Johnson's. he was playing all the athletes with his own money. But let's get into the USFL. This is like, so instead of going from the USFL league in an XFL, it's the USFL conference and the XFL conference. So first in the USFL conference, you have the Birmingham Stallions, the Houston Roughnecks, the Memphis Showboats, and the Michigan Panthers. So those are that's the USFL. Right now there's only 8 teams. I think they're planning on adding more. Because I think the XFL and USFL had like maybe 12 teams. I'm not entirely sure. But in the XFL, you have the... Oh, I'm sorry. I think it might have been the USFL that was the Rock's money. I don't know. I can't... Someone can fact check me on that. But
I'll fact check you on it.
In the XFL, I'm pretty sure it was the XFL that the Rock's paying. So the XFL is Arlington Renegades, the DC Defenders, which is the returning champs of the XFL, the San Antonio Brahmins, and the St. Louis Battlehawks. I believe for the USFL was the Houston Roughnecks that won it. I can look at that. Who won the USFL championship game 2023?
Yeah, so The Rock, he was a big-time owner for the XFL.
I'm sorry, the Birmingham Stallions were the USFL champions in 2023. So I was wrong.
This just comes to show our knowledge on
this shows
the sport, but we're going to be learning. We will learn along with all you guys. So, we're a part of the process.
So, obviously, I know a little bit more. I kind of been knowing a little bit more, but my team is in the XFL, and that's the St. Louis Battlehawks. I mean, one of my buddies here, he's a huge Battlehawks fan, so might as well win with him. Kind of jumped on it. Didn't really have a team. Didn't really care for it until kind of introduced me to it. But Battlehawks are a decent team. They're not the worst, but they're a decent team.
So I'm just looking this stuff up. So in the XFL, there were 9 teams, right?
XFL?
Yeah, when the XFL was playing, weren't there 9 teams?
I think there were only 9 teams, but now they reduced it to 4, like the top 4 teams.
Because, I see the San Antonio Brahmas, the Arlington Renegades, the St. Louis Battlehawks, and the Houston Roughnecks. And then the other ones are the DC Defenders, the Seattle Sea Dragons. That's a sick logo, by the
way. They're not in there. They're not in the US.
Orlando Guardians, Vegas Vipers, and the Los Angeles Wildcats.
No, none of those teams were in it.
No, that's what I'm saying.
That was the XFL, right?
Yeah, that's for the XFL. Like the teams that were in the XFL for the time that it started, which was like COVID year, I think.
I think it did. I think they brought it back during COVID.
It was like 3 years or something like that.
Excuse me, I'm so sorry.
Bless you, dude.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
But I'm just looking at these teams here. The team with the coolest logo, and this isn't even close, is the Memphis Showboats.
Yeah, out of Tennessee.
Yeah, I think the Showboats have the best logo, and then I think it's the Battlehawks that have the second best logo.
Battlehawks, if you flip it upside down, it's supposed to be like STL for St. Louis.
If you flip the logo upside down?
Yeah, it's like the end of the wings is like.
No way.
Yeah, they on their Instagram, because I follow them on Instagram. That's what they did.
That's pretty dope. That's a great concept of an idea, but why wouldn't they just like have it flipped over?
Hidden meaning. It's
the other way.
It's like a hidden meaning. I mean, it's no different like the Falcons having the Falcon in the shape of an F.
Sure.
Or like the Eagles, like the end of the feathers on the end is like an E. I don't know if you knew that or not.
The end of the feathers are what?
Like the end of the Eagles head for the Philadelphia Eagles, it creates an E.
Yeah. I've seen that one before.
I don't know what other ones are there in the NFL. I guess the Titans is supposed to be a torch, but it says a T.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So Matt, do you wanna like break down the rules of this
yes,
game
yeah.
compared to what it's like in the NFL? And then what we're gonna do is after each rule gets broken down, we're going to like have a time where we either agree or disagree with the rule. It'd be better if we had signs, but we're just gonna
Yeah.
say it at the same time, I think.
So, there we go. So right off the bat is we're gonna start with kickoffs because the NFL actually just changed their rules of kickoffs to be more like the XFLs. But basically, kickoffs will look more like traditional college and NFL kickoffs, but will take place from the 20-yard line of the kicking team. So the kicking team is starting at their own 20. At kickoff, out of bounds will give possession to the receiving team 30 yards from the spot of the kickoff or at the spot where the ball went out of bounds. So what I'm thinking is that, I don't know, that might sound really confusing to me, but for someone else it may not be. So basically, you kick the ball out of bounds at basically where it is, or 30 yards from the spot of the kickoff, which is basically midfield,
Yes. I'm reading these rules right along with you.
Yeah.
I've
Are
the
you on the
website.
UFL site? Are you on the UFL site?
Yeah,
Yeah, same
yeah,
here.
the
That's
UFL
what I have pulled
website.
up.
Yep.
So a kickoff that is untouched by the receiving team may only be recovered by a kicking team up to 20 yards from the spot of the kick. So I know, like, I don't know if you guys watched this drawing, but he's obviously the San Antonio Brahms kicker, and obviously he beat out an NFL kicker, Matt Amendola. And one of the main reasons was that because he was able to get super high hang time on his balls, and he was able to kick it within like the 7-yard line, which you would have to. So I think like the return zone is like the 20-yard line and in. I'm pretty sure.
I feel like the return zone can be like anywhere on the field because from
Okay,
what I'm
yeah.
hearing is so the kicker kicks it from their own 20-yard line,
Mm-hmm.
correct?
Yes.
And then once they kick that, if it goes out of bounds, that team gets the possession at their 30 or where the
Uh,
ball went out of bounds,
I
correct?
think it's like
So
where it goes out plus an additional 30.
yeah, so if plus a plus 30.
I don't know. A kickoff out of bounds will give possession to the receiving team 30 yards from the spot of the kickoff, okay, so
30
if
yards from the spot would be midfield.
yes,
Yep.
or where the ball went out of bounds.
That's really interesting. So you could kick it out. This is almost like Madden, where you like try to screw over like the other team from like actually returning the ball, and you just like punt it really low and then try to get it out of bounds like
Yeah,
as far as you can. So somebody could kick it off from their 20 to the other team's 1 yard line out of bounds, and the team gets it at the 1 yard line.
I guess so. Maybe. Well,
That's huh. That
I don't
is
know.
really
I think once we
interesting.
watch an actual game, I think it'll be more explainable. But for right now, I'm still a little bit confused about this.
Yeah, I'm just trying to walk through it by like giving like a scenario
Yeah.
and what's going on.
So
But
yeah,
then
let's
it
say
says
kickoff of the game goes out of bounds at the 20. So a kickoff out of bounds will give possession to the receiving team 30 yards from the spot of the kickoff or at the spot of the ball. So basically, I think it is like, do you want it at the 30 or do you want it at the 50? And I think most teams will take it at the 50.
yeah, we'll see how that works because the way that I'm reading it, it's different from what you're saying.
It's
Like,
either you get it at the spot where it went out of bounds, or hey, you can take
or
it
you
at the
get it 30
50,
yards
30
ahead of that
yards,
spot.
30 yards where they
Yeah,
kicked it off. So that's what I'm kind of getting at.
that's the way that I see it. And
Mm-hmm.
I could see somebody assuming that it's like if it went out of bounds in a certain spot, it would go 30 yards from that spot. I don't
Yeah.
think that's how it is, though.
No.
But we'll find out.
Yeah. So the second one is touchbacks. I think this was pretty self-explanatory. All touchbacks on kicks, punts, or kickoffs will be placed at the receiving team's 25-yard line. Any punt that goes out of bounds inside the team's receiving team's 25-yard line will be considered a touchback and placed at the 25-yard line.
That's the only difference from the NFL that they have.
Non-kicking touchbacks will also be placed at the 25-yard line. So any punt that goes out of bounds inside the receiving team's 25-yard line. So this is like completely different because in the NFL, you want to get that killer coffin corner, like right at the 1 yard line, but you can't do that because that's a touchback.
Yep, exactly.
So basically, it really eliminates the punting game because you really need to punt when you're inside like your own 20.
See, now what confuses me about this is I love how they're letting these teams get away from that, like what you're saying, like that coffin corner of the field. But on the kickoffs, if you kicked it within that yard line, it seemed, and it went out of bounds, it seems like that team would get it from that spot.
Yeah, so I think
that's interesting.
That's non-kicking touchbacks. Non-kicking touchbacks will also be placed in the 25-yard line.
Is a touchback anything that goes out of bounds within that 25-yard line?
Any punt that goes out of bounds inside the receiving team's 25-yard line will be considered a touchback and placed at the 25-yard line.
What about a kickoff? What if it's a kickoff that goes within?
So a punt is that. A punt is that. The kickoff is the. I don't know if they're more. No. I'm looking back at the kickoffs.
Because it doesn't say anything about that, about the kickoffs. It just says the team receives it at the 50 or that spot that it went out.
Yeah. I'm not entirely sure.
Interesting.
But yeah, so basically the touchback is 35 yards.
I can go through the next one.
All right, yeah.
So the next rule it's stating is the alternate possession option. This is pretty interesting. While onside kicks are allowed at any time during the game, teams will have an alternate option to retain possession in the fourth quarter. If a team is tied or behind during the fourth quarter, it may elect to retain possession after a score with a 4th and 12 from its own 28-yard line. And by doing that, that can make these games super spicy when it comes to towards the end of a football game. Like that final 5 minutes is going to be like 30.
And I really like this rule because the Colts I think the Colts proposed this rule. I'm pretty sure in the NFL, and the NFL basically just said no. I really like this rule because, well, not to go back, but the NFL basically said you can't do surprise onside kicks anymore. You have to let the other team know. And all these other stupid, well, now they went to the XFL kickoff rule. But it's just, onside kicks rarely work in the NFL. I think there was only like maybe 7 that were recovered last year. I've always
not
liked
many.
This. I've liked this.
There were not many.
Because this actually gives a fighting chance because an onside kick is like, you're down by 10. You score a touchdown. There's a minute 30 left in the game. You got a 7% chance of recovering it.
Exactly. And
I
for
like
this
rule, I like this because it gives more of a shot to the offense. And like momentum is like also a huge thing because special teams, like, you guys gotta kick it. No offense, but like, you got
that is what it is.
And hope for the best that one of your guys comes up with it. With this, you can, because I've seen this, like the St. Louis Battlehawks did this. They literally went for an onside was 4th and 10 or 4th and 12, and they ended up scoring on that possession. Like, they scored on a 4th and 12 and scored the game-winning touchdown to win the game. So, like, this adds a whole new element, and I absolutely love this option. I wish the NFL did go through with this, because this would bring a lot more entertainment and more variety and better games this way.
I agree. This seems like one of the best rules that I mean, we've only gone through like 2 or 3 of them so far, but this one does seem like the most entertaining. And when it comes to these types of leagues and whatever, they're all about entertainment and providing that for an audience. And I even think this too, like a 4th and 12, like that, it's not easy to convert, but I feel like you have a much higher chance of converting a 4th and 12, and it's on your own 28-yard line. So it is a pretty big gamble that you are taking when you do it. But if you end up converting that play, I mean, it's a completely different ball game.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you score, it it seems like you can decide, no, you can't do it again. You have to be tied or behind
In the fourth
in the
quarter.
game. Yes. So I really like this idea. I think this rule is going to really be used very often into the season. And I'm looking forward to watching these games and see how often it actually gets used compared to the 7% of onside kicks being recovered
Mm-hmm.
in the NFL. So I agree with you.
Yeah, I really like this rule. I think it should be implemented because this is going to bring a lot more closer games because onside kicks they're never going to work. And like McAfee shot, I watch Pat McAfee show a lot now. That's how Pat McAfee like made his living because he would do so many surprise onside kicks. And like in the Super Bowl, I forgot what Super Bowl was, but it was the Saints and the Colts, and right out of
Yep.
halftime they did a surprise onside and got it.
I think that was 44.
It might be. I'm not entirely
Uh,
sure, but like that's
yeah.
like a huge. That's one thing like you can't do anymore.
And I 100% agree on this. And I mean, the fact that you said that the St. Louis Battlehawks ended up doing this to win the game, like this was a game-winning play you're talking
Mm-hmm.
about. I mean, talk about riling up the crowd with a bunch of entertainment. Like that is the way to do it. And I love the sounds of this rule. Should we go to the next one?
Yes, if you want to take her away.
Yeah. So another pretty interesting rule that we have here, we'll see if both of us agree on this, is 2 forward passes. So teams will be allowed, as they were in both leagues last season, to throw 2 forward passes on one play. I didn't know that they were doing this in the last seasons that they played, by the way. The ball cannot cross the line of scrimmage at any time prior to the second forward pass being thrown. I think this one's pretty interesting.
I
The
think
fact that they've been using it sounds like it's been working.
so. I think this is comes to a part like where you would do like a halfback dump out to the left, so like just a simple rocket route or a wheel route. Well, yeah, rocket route. That's what we call it. But so basically, I'm quarterback. I see my dump off. He's like, I'm 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage and shotgun. He's like 2 yards. So basically, what I'm getting is that he catches that 2 yards. He can set his feet and then throw it to the guy that's running a go route. That's what I'm getting at. It might be
Um,
completely wrong.
so what I'm hearing is you get 2 forward passes, but on that second forward pass, you cannot be in front of the line of scrimmage. Um, so you could run like a screen pass to a wide receiver, and it goes forward slightly, and he can go cross field or something back,
Mm-hmm.
and he could throw it down the field again. But it sounds like if you were to run, well, let's just say the same exact play that I said, screen pass to the wide receiver, he goes across the line of scrimmage. So he passes the line of scrimmage, and then he goes to try to pass it forward after the line of scrimmage. That's illegal. Is that
So
what I'm getting?
yeah. So basically, you can't. The ball can't cross the line of scrimmage. The LOS.
Yes.
So anytime, so basically, like it's no different than NFL where you have like those crazy laterals, and then there's that one that looks super close and ends up going forward. Basically, the same thing.
Gotcha.
So this is
For
just basically like adding another trick defender in there.
Yeah, it sounds like now that I've learned what this is, it doesn't seem like too much, to be
No.
honest. So I'm totally fine with this being in this game as well.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that might throw me off a little bit is that you're only given 2 forward passes. Like, it's not like volleyball where you get like 3 hits to get it over the
Yeah.
net or whatever. Like, I feel like a team could lose count. I don't I don't know. Maybe that's something that may never happen. Or
Mm-hmm.
maybe these teams run these plays and they actually like, I'm gonna assume that they do run plays specifically for things like this. So they probably don't lose count. But we'll, like I said, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
For all of us, this is new.
Yeah, like you said, like I kind of know a little bit more because I'm more invested in this. Because this is very possibility for like semi-pro players that this is actually a thing that they can get into.
You could get to that level, yeah.
Yeah. Next one is going to be what is a catch? The catch definition. So, a completed catch or interception is defined as a player securing control of the ball prior to the ball touching the ground. And touching the ground in bounds with both feet or with any part of their body other than their hands. Basically the same thing as the NFL. Elbow counts as 2 feet, knee counts as 2 feet, butt counts as 2 feet, 1 feet does not count as 2 feet. And basically securing the ball, not letting it move, basically. So it doesn't seem like we're in the NFL where you can catch the ball and put it on the ground to help secure it. Just seems like you need to have full possession of the catch.
I wish the NFL could just know what a catch is. Like,
Yeah.
saying this, it's super simple. All you have to do is have like one body part touching the ground before the ball touches the ground, and you got possession. Like, it's not that hard. Like, I don't understand how it's a tough thing to figure out. Ever since that Calvin Johnson incident, like, it's been such a big thing. And then it was Des Bryant, and I mean, so many other players.
Then it was Jesse
After that,
James.
there are so many plays. One play that like I go back to at least, it was actually from one of the Super Bowls. It was Super Bowl 52 when Zach Ertz ended up catching a touchdown pass, and it was just like that Jesse James play, but they actually called it a touchdown. And it was just like a super confusing turn of events. I remember listening to Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth in that game, and they're like, they're just both like, based on what's happened previously, I don't know if that's a catch. Like that, and that's how Chris Collinsworth was when he was talking about it. Here's a guy who's out there just trying to make a play on the ball, trying to get in the end zone. Man,
no, but Francis does something that no one else can ever do. Like, look at 5-yard completion, like, beautiful by Mahomes. This is why he's considered the GOAT in the NFL, the greatest of all time, and there's nothing to do. Look at this 1-yard dump off route. Like, Mahomes does everything. He scrambles out, actually puts his hand on the ground, keeps his balance, and just flips it to the running back, Pacheco.
That's a heck of a play by Mahomes right there, man.
I don't know, Jim. I don't know if that was a
hey,
or not.
the I don't know Jims are so hilarious.
It looks like he got bit.
I can just picture Tony Romo's face when he's making those calls, looking like he's constipated or something. Like, it just seems like it. Like, he's just making like that, like clenching his face, and he's like, I don't know, Jim.
I don't know, Jim. I don't know. Like, he bobbles it, but then he retains it.
Speaking of all of that, we're probably gonna have different people on the call for these types of games.
Yeah, we probably will.
So,
I'm not entirely sure who will be calling these games.
So there might be new people making some names for themselves, and maybe you and I could possibly get to that level. Like,
darn right.
Who knows? But I like this catch definition. I think it's proper.
It's
going
simple.
over it again, securing control all you have to do is have the ball in your possession and something touches the ground. Like, it's all you got to do. I love how simple it is.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
So next is defensive pass interference. So defensive pass interference will result in a 15-yard penalty or a spot foul if the foul occurred less than 15 yards downfield. Intentionally, defensive pass interference will result in spot foul if it is beyond 15 yards downfield. Basically, it sounds like it's the same thing as the NFL.
It sounds like college. It sounds like college to me.
Yeah, but that's my first reaction. When I thought, I was like, okay, so no matter where you do pass interference, it's always going to be a 15-yard penalty. But the intentional defensive pass interference will result in the spot foul if it is beyond 50. Like, obviously, like, receiver, like, is going over his shoulder, DB comes out, just, like, brings his arm down. I think that's going to be what they
I think a great example for this is the wide receivers looking for an over the shoulder catch, and then the defensive back ends up grabbing him by the hips and tackling him down, you know?
Okay, so very similar to mine, but yeah.
No, but it's the hip tackle instead.
Oh. Yeah, there is no hip tackle ban in this league, so
we'll have another episode about that.
Yeah, we have so much planned. We got so much to do.
Yeah, but yeah, it sounds like a college pass interference, but then if it's like intentional and it's down the field, it's like NFL, like right there. So I agree. That's a good rule to have. The next one, unless you have anything to say.
I'm good. So
okay. So the next one, this one's a little bit longer, so we'll go through this slowly. It's replay reviews. So designated members of the officiating department may stop a game at any time before the ball is next legally put in play to review a play if the play is reviewable. There is a reasonable evidence to believe an error was made in the initial ruling and it would have a direct competitive impact on the game. So that's how the reviews are. These reviews will be made from a secure location department from the site of the game. Any call or non-call related to player safety is also subject to review at any point during the game. I love how they have that, as well as any officiating ruling in the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter or overtime that is obviously incorrect that will have a significant impact on the outcome of the game. How many times in the NFL have we seen games get thrown away by either one of the dumbest calls we have ever seen or a non-call that should have been called?
Yeah, it's going to be that much worse with the hip tackle because not only that, it puts more on the refs. Like, the refs have to deal with more stuff. So.
And I've been saying this for a long time. I believe refs should be fined because there is some stuff that goes around that these guys can be betting on games, even though it's illegal to do that as a referee or a player, opponent, or whatever. But I'm so for refs being fined because they do impact outcomes of games, whether you believe it or not. And I think that, go ahead.
I'm just going to quick add, I think this might have been the Colts' idea. I think it wasn't the kickoff, but it was they could challenge any play within the last 2 minutes of each quarter because that's up to the refs then because that's everything gets reviewed, so you can't challenge it. But they were like, you can challenge anything. You can challenge calls, you can challenge penalties, you can challenge placement. So
I love the fact that they're going to be reviewing things related to player safety. Like, that is such a great thing to do. All the NFL does is fine the player for after it happens if there's no flag on the play. Sometimes you do get the flags on those plays and then the player gets fined, but most times than not, you don't see that happen. And I remember in college football too, like they would always review like targeting. I loved that they would do that up in college.
That's what I was just about to bring up because it seemed like okay, you can challenge a roughing the passer call because that's what I'm getting here. Is like you said with college football, you can they would always review targeting. It would see like, okay, is this enough to be targeted? Like, is this enough to be disqualified? But yeah, I really like it. I think it gives more, and I think it takes less responsibility off the refs. Well, not responsibilities, but less pressure, because if they make a bad call, coach challenges, hey, we actually did, you were right, yada yada yada. So I actually think that this is really good.
Me too. And like another thing that I thought about, like with the player safety thing, is like it sounds like almost any form of a tackle seems legal. Maybe not like horse collars or something. Like I said, I don't know all about the league. I could look into their entire things of rules, but we only have like a couple more things
Yeah, we
to break
have
down
3
here.
more, so you can take this next one. I'll take the last 2.
Yeah, so the next thing we got is coach challenges. Each coach may challenge any ruling, including I can't even say foul
Fouls.
correctly, including fouls or potential fouls, one time during the course of a contest, provided the team has a timeout remaining. A successful challenge will not result in a loss of a timeout, while the timeout is lost if the challenge is unsuccessful. I mean, pretty basic.
Yeah, pretty basic like the NFL, except that you get 1, so
Yes.
you only get 1 instead of 2.
Use it wisely.
Or I don't know if the NFL just passed it, but I did know that it was because in the NFL, like if you get both challenges correct, you get a third one. But I think
Yes.
some team proposed that is like if you just get 1 right, you get that third one.
You should get another one if you got one right. But I think the way that the UFL is having this is you only get that one, but it seems like so many plays in the game are reviewable if it's requested, because they're going to have a team
Mm-hmm.
on site to review all of that. As for the NFL, it's like you have to wait for like replays on the Jumbotron, and then you like throw that challenge flag, and the officials don't review as much, but they will review stuff within like the 2-minute warning of a game, per se. I feel like you agree with me
Yeah,
on that.
yeah, I 100% agree. But it also doesn't say that if you successfully get the challenge, you don't get to keep the challenge. Like it's gone.
Yes.
So that's interesting. So I think I like this. I like how it's basic. It's basic challenge stuff, but as I kind of added in last with the replays, I think, or yeah, replay reviews is basically the same thing.
Does each team get 3 timeouts?
Yeah, each team does get 3 timeouts.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was like 3, 4, or 5, but
Yeah.
3 seemed like it makes sense because that's
Mm-hmm.
just how football is. Yeah, we can go to the next one.
All right, so the next one is overtime. Overtime will consist of alternating attempts to score from the opponent's 5-yard line with no kicks allowed. It will be a best-of-3 format or until a winner has been determined. This is college football. This is how college football is. This is, I think, the NFL
This is
should
better
go for
than
that.
college football.
Yes, because I think at first it was, yeah. So it's a best-of-3 format. So you get 3 attempts. If you don't get 2, you basically lost. It's for the 5. Like you get 5.
Yeah, from the opponent's 5-yard line. So
Yeah. So
this
from the 5-yard line with 4 downs.
this is essentially, this is my favorite rule. Like by far, this is like the only rule that I've known from like the beginning of when this started. But like what the overtime is, it's essentially like penalty kicks in soccer, or like
Yeah.
in hockey with the sudden death. I can't even think of what they're called. Shootouts or shoot offs or something
Yeah.
like that. But this is in football. Like I love that it's a best-of-3 kind of thing. And then if each team got it in 3, you just keep going until one of them doesn't get it and the other team does. I think since there's no kicks allowed, it involves like so many trick plays that can be ran. And what I'm getting out of this is, do you only get 3 plays to
I think it's
call?
fourth and goal situation. Or
Yeah, it's a 4th and goal every time.
I think it might be. I'm not entirely sure.
Like I'm curious if like one team gets the 3 attempts right away, and then it's the other team gets the 3 attempts, or if it's the team gets one
so
and then it
offense, defense, offense, defense, offense, defense.
Gotcha.
And if they both get 3, and then they just keep on going until someone messes up.
That's fun. I like this.
This is what
fun.
This is like better than college football, but I still think the NFL should go to the college football rules. But I think it's from what, the 20 or the 15?
In college, I think it's from the 25. The opponent's 25 or something.
With the NFL, make it the 50.
With the NFL, I want to say this. There were so many people who were confused in overtime of this year's Super Bowl, especially with the thing about like the clock.
Well, that was the first. Oh yeah, the clock one was so weird. But like even like the NFL rules, regular overtime rules are different than the playoff rules. So basically, they have two sets of overtime rules.
Yeah, but like for me, this was coming from my experience. I had no idea what the heck was going on. I mean, neither did the 49ers. They already claimed that. But like with the time in the game, so you got the 15-minute overtime period. 49ers scored their 3 points with like 7 minutes, 30 seconds left, something like that. And the Chiefs brought the clock all the way down to like 15 seconds or 5 seconds or something like that in the overtime. Throughout the entire Chiefs possession as the clock was going down, I kept like saying to everybody, like, what the heck are they going to do if that clock runs out in overtime, like, and the other team doesn't score? Does that one team that just scored win, or does it go into another period? And I think so many people were confused by that. This is just going to my point of the NFL has a lot of confusion. Compared to this, you just get alternating attempts, just like in soccer and hockey. And I think that is a bunch of fun, provides a bunch of entertainment. It's clear, it's simple, it's going to do great. Thumbs up on that one.
Yeah, I really like this. As I was saying, we both like this. But going into our last one, which is, I like this, because this is probably what makes the league most unique, are the points after touchdown PATs. Teams will have 3 scrimmage play/run pass options following a touchdown. The 2-yard line is a 1 point for a successful try. 5-yard line is a 2 points for a successful try. And the 10-yard line, which is a 3 point for a successful try. So basically, a 9-point game is still a 1-score game. Which is the best thing about this. And also, so 3 scrimmage plays, so basically, from what I'm hearing is that you get first, second, third, fourth, and then you're done.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think there's even field goals. I don't even think there's an extra point.
Really?
I don't think so, because you have 3 scrimmage plays to run pass option or a touchdown, so you get 3 tries.
Yep.
So honestly, like, it might be worth to go for 2 all the time, because I play flag football. It's like so much harder to score when you're within like the 5 yards. First off, everyone's so compact, and that's less for defense to cover. 10 yards, it seems like the perfect option, because you have so much more space that you can even run upfield if you need to. You don't have to get into.
Yeah.
You can still make a play.
Yeah.
But I think like going for, I mean, obviously if we're down by 7, I'm going to be like, okay, well, we're going to go for 2 and win it. We're at the 5. That gives us enough space to do a mesh concept.
Like looking at this, I agree with you about like the distances. So like, yeah, anything within that 5 yards, you are not given much space. Like everybody's crammed up. You don't have much space to run those plays. And like, so the 2-point attempt is from the 5, and then the 3 points from the 10. Like, it's just crazy to think how possibly high scoring these games are going to be. Like, I could almost picture games like reaching past 50 for like each team if their offenses are explosive. And speaking of that, I've not looked at the rosters of these teams except for all I know is Destroying is on the Brahmas.
Yeah, I've been watching like his project NFL, which
It's pretty good. I've been
like
watching
it.
some of that too.
I don't know if you've seen his latest episode, but people think this is
I have not.
basically they're saying that this is a publicity stunt for him. Like the Brahmins are only doing this for destroying.
Like that's what the Brahmas said.
No, there was a fake reporter that said, "Oh, he had inside knowledge." Like Matt Amendola was like kicking better than he was, but they still gave the spot to like destroying because of like popularity and like bringing viewers. But I didn't know that destroying was actually in the CFL, and they just used him for clout. They used him for clout because like in like the 3 months he was there, they gained over like 500,000 followers. So
Yeah, he's a for those of you who don't know.
He's a good kicker, but he's 27 years old.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know who this is, I mean, quick summary story about Destroying. Social media content creator. When he was in college, he was playing. I can't remember where he went to school.
University of Central Florida, so UC.
Yeah, Central Florida. He was playing there, and then all of a sudden, the NCAA rules about making money, doing other content, made him not be able to do that, and he had that choice whether to continue playing football or continue making content. He decided to continue making content, and then there was the all controversy about the NCAA and the NIL type of deals going on where players could now make money off of these brands and doing a bunch of other things, which piss the crap off of social media content creators.
Well, yeah, especially with that, especially like if Destroy was like in a college right now, he'd be making so much money.
Yeah.
I like
and then
the NIL deal because I was an athlete at the time when it came up, but looking back on it, it's so bad. Like even Nick Saban said the best. Kids are just going to go wherever they can get the most money. Like schools are offering $1 million to come here. I was like, okay, I'm going to be a millionaire. So let me take this money.
And dude, as a student with, inflation and everything going on, like you're taking money. You are taking the money so you can set up yourself financially, right? Which completely makes sense. But the rest of the story is after he made that decision to stick with social media, and then the NCAA controversy ended up happening, was he wanted to create a series where he could try to get into the NFL. That's what Matt was talking about a little bit. He comes out with episodes like every week or something.
Yeah, it's like that
on YouTube. Do you know what days of the week?
It might be Tuesdays, but Tuesdays or Wednesdays. But before that, Destroy would do one-on-one competitions. That's what he's best known for. And he goes around the country and just hosts these 1v1 tournaments. And he actually came to Wisconsin, but they had to close it early because people from Wisconsin don't know how to listen. Like he rents out Title Town, and he's telling people to back up, and they're not backing up. Like they're giving like the people that are running routes 2 yards to do stuff, so it's like impossible to do.
I'm gonna be honest. I really wanted the Packers to sign him just because when they were like in search of a kicker, because
you guys got Greg Joseph. You got my crappy kicker.
Yeah, and now we got Greg Joseph, which
I don't know how much better he is than Andres Carlson.
I don't know about that. I think Minnesota's cursed with kickers though, so I feel like he's gonna be doing just fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
these are the rules. Yeah. These are kind of the big boy rules that people really got to look out for. But I think with that, it is time to. Oh crap! I dropped them.
Yeah. Predictions.
Right. We didn't make a top 10. We're gonna do this after week 1 because this league is funky, but we're gonna go.
Dude, we can't even do a top 10.
No, we don't. Well, yeah, there's 10 teams. There's 10 teams in this league.
Oh,
Okay, we can.
there's 8
Never
teams.
mind.
We can have a top 8.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
At
are there
most, we're
only
going to
8?
do a top 5. But, yeah, these are going to be our predictions for UFL. Season 2, I mean, let's see.
Is there a game tonight, you said?
No, they're playing tomorrow, so
Okay, it starts
time for
tomorrow.
the Dots UFL season week 1.
We might almost have to make a separate document about this stuff here.
Yeah, we might have to do UFL down the sidelines.
Separate the leagues from one another.
Yes, we should probably do that. But
Dude, I don't know jack squat about any of these teams.
I have like 2 picks that I have maybe like 3 picks that I have locked in. The other one's kind of a toss up.
Okay.
It's a toss up. So we
Okay.
have Birmingham Stallions going to the Arlington Renegades. Like we said, we were just going to be shooting who we think is going to win. I'm going to take the Stallions on this one. I'm going to say it's going to be like 27-25.
Dude, another thing about this with our
It's gonna
score
be so
predictions
weird.
is, yeah, we can say like the weirdest numbers and they'll still make sense.
Yeah, somewhere 27-25.
Oh, bro. I feel like I'm in like the March Madness bracket selection
Oh my
stuff.
gosh, dude! I just found out North Carolina lost last night against Alabama, and they were one of my league winners. They're my bracket winner.
Dude, like, I can't hear a single thing you just said.
So I found out that North Carolina lost to Bama last night, and then
Oh, yeah.
I had
Yep.
them as one of my bracket winners. The other one is Marquette, so go Marquette.
Bro, you got to pick UConn. UConn's clearly the best team that's out there right now.
Well, I don't watch college basketball, so I don't know.
I barely watched any college basketball this year, and I knew UConn was the best team. Plus, they're defending champions.
That I didn't know until after I made my bracket.
That
I don't know how
sucks
much
to
I
suck,
pay
man.
attention about basketball. I barely pay attention to basketball.
Sucks to suck on that one. But
All right,
I was gonna say typically it's the people who know the most stuff about these teams in college basketball like make the worst brackets, and then it's like these people who don't know anything make the best ones. This is me not knowing anything, so I'm hoping I make the best picks here. I'm also gonna go with the Birmingham Stallions. Only reason their logo looks better. I'm a big fan of their logo. It looks pretty sweet, and Alabama, like you said, just defeated North Carolina, so I think hopes are high for Alabama. So Birmingham is going to get the away W. I'm going to go with 36-25.
So we both have losing teams scoring 25 points.
Yeah.
All right, so next we have the St. Louis Battlehawks traveling to the Michigan Panthers. I'm going to take my team, the Battlehawks. Also, like, one of the coolest names in sports.
It is pretty sweet.
I think this is going to be a blowout, so I'm going to say 36-21.
All right. So for me,
my locks.
I'm not a big fan of any St. Louis team or any Michigan team. This is I'm picking the Battlehawks though because it's just because their name's cooler, and I've heard about their recent success, and I'm gonna hope it continues. I'm gonna pick the Battlehawks winning 41-24.
All right. So next we have the DC Defenders at the San Antonio Brahms, or however the heck you say it. So these are both the league champions from the XFL and the USL facing off. So obviously this should be a very good game, but I wanted to take the DC Defenders in this one because I know how dominant they were last year in the USFL, no XFL they were in.
in the
I
XFL.
think it's still going to be a very close game, so I'm actually going to go 31-30.
Wow. Okay. I was
I'm not trying. I love this train, but I don't think he's going to make that. He's going to miss one kick.
for me, yeah, this is a tough one to decide because I like the DC Defenders name way more than the Washington Commanders, 100%. And then the San Antonio Brahmos or Brahms or however the heck you say it, they got destroyed. And I've been becoming a bigger fan of destroying. I'm picking the Brahms just because they have him on the team. Call me a bandwagon.
No, I'm not going to call you a. I call you a bandwagon. I mean, this is my second favorite team, but I also know how good the Defenders were.
Okay.
I think like the Defenders beat the Panthers. I think they had in the XFL championship like 50-some to 20.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Like
Based on
they were just like super dominant.
based on everything you've been saying about these teams, like it sounds like you're saying it's going to be close.
This should be a very close game.
I'm gonna go with it's gonna be a shocker. I think the Brahms are just gonna pull away with it. I'm gonna go with 38. We'll 38. 38 to 26.
Hey, that is a one-score game.
That is true.
And next we have the Memphis Showboats at the Houston Roughnecks. I mean, you can never put Texas football pass. I mean, I think that's been a given. There's 3 teams from Texas in this league. They consider almost for half the teams.
Jeez. I didn't even notice that.
Houston, San Antonio. So, I don't know. I think the Showboats is a super unique name. I do like their name. But I am going to have to go with the Roughnecks in this one. And I'm going to pick some semi-close. I think it's going to be a 2-score game, but I'm going to go 31-21.
The Roughnecks are the defending champions, right?
No, because it's the Browns. World champion. 2023. It was the Birmingham Stallions. It was the USFL.
Let's go. I think the Birmingham pick is a lock then. Let's go.
We both got Birmingham, and the XFL was the DC Defenders, I'm pretty sure. I know. No, I am wrong. The DC Defenders lost against the Renegades.
Lost to Birmingham.
The Arlington Renegades. So
the Renegades won?
The Arlington Renegades. That's the championship game, but okay. Well, I don't know. The story said that the DC Defenders were the champions, so
I mean, once again, I got
shows our inexperience.
Yeah, we got little to no knowledge on this stuff.
We were trying to do this, so we are trying to do our best. So please bear with us.
I'm gonna guess all of our audience is learning along as well.
Yeah.
The Showboats is such a dope name. It is, and their logo is freaking sweet. Like, it reminds me of a high school team that's up in the North Wisconsin area called the Ashland Dockers or Dockers.
Oh my gosh, that is actually really sick.
It is a dope name.
This also has a hidden meaning in it.
The boat?
Yeah, do you like? Because Tennessee is known for what?
Music.
Yeah.
Nashville, country.
Yeah, look at the if you pull up the logo, like the wheel is supposed to be like a music.
I'll get the logo.
It's supposed to be like a quarter note.
A quarter note?
Yeah, look at it.
I see it. No way.
That's like a
Okay.
cheeky little thing. That like
All right.
games.
Now that you point this out, I'm picking them. I'm rooting on this team. Give me the show. Give me the showboats. We're gonna go with another one score game. We're gonna go with. I think this is gonna be lower scoring. 26-17.
All right. Well, these are all locked in now. So the best we can do is we both end the week either 2-2 or we 3-1 or 1-3. Actually, no. Yeah, 1-3. Someone's gonna get 2 wins. Someone is gonna have two
Yup.
losses.
There's no way anyone can go winless. So we're Jay chilling on that.
Unless, yeah, they don't do ties in this league, which is amazing.
Right? There is no way.
There is no ties. There are no ties.
Yeah. That's another great rule about this league. I'm looking forward to the kickoff of this. Hopefully I can watch it because I want to learn more about it and actually like get a full-on experience and see what it's all about, especially being a person who has like no knowledge whatsoever. So the fact that we just recorded an episode about, the UFL, how it works, and all of that, it kind of amazes me. Maybe, yeah, just let us know in the comments if you guys appreciate this content, you want to see more of it. Like Matt said, the reason we're doing this is because there are not that many others who would talk about this type of content, especially in the bigger sports world. It's not going to be brought up that much unless there's like a top 10 play that goes down or something. And I can picture a lot of top 10 plays happening in this league. But yeah, just let us know in the comments if this is something you want us to continue to do. We'll still be doing NFL content. We're actually about to record another episode. A fun episode is what we're going to do. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got. You want to take over anything, Matt?
No, I guess we'll just end up the episode right here. So here on the away sideline at Lakeland University is your boy Matt Crawley, aka Matty Icy.
Here on the home sideline, back at home. In Amro is your boy, Brenden Retzloff, Brett Sideline, 99 Brett's Brendini. Thanks for tuning into episode 4 of the Dots podcast. Yeah, make sure to follow us, subscribe to us on our social content, TikTok, Instagram. I've been slacking a little bit on doing the edits. School's back now. That's why. But both of us, we got one semester left. Less than a semester left.
Less than half a semester left.
Absolutely crazy to think about that. But we appreciate you guys for tuning in. Stay tuned for the next one, which we're just about to film as well. So we'll see you guys down on the sidelines.
All right, guys. Peace out and have a nice day.
Peace.